Coming up tonight on a brand new Delmarva Sports Insider, baseball, and oh yeah, some more baseball. Woodbridge hit the road to take on Milford this afternoon. Highlights are straight ahead.
And the biggest lacrosse rivalry on the Eastern Shore adds another chapter. Steve Decatur, Worcester Prep, highlights coming up.
That's right. Now, we can't forget about softball, of course. Mardela looking for a little revenge after Snow Hill ended their season a year ago. We have those highlights in just a few minutes.
And with that, welcome into Delmarva Sports Insider alongside Jeff Harris, Jonah Restuccio, and standing by is Drew Williams. You can't see him yet, but we'll have him here in a minute.
Soon.
I'm Ryan Eldridge.
That's right. Now, if you couldn't tell by the weather, guys, spring is here, so all the outdoor sports are here as well on a brand new Delmarva Sports Insider.
It's our first full spring show. It kind of feels like we've hit that mark, that the weather is turning. All the top plays and action from this past week coming up across the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll kick things off tonight with some baseball. We said kick. I started thinking of soccer. But anyway, baseball,
soon.
Two heavyweights.
That's right. Now, it was a rematch, too, Ryan. There we go. Of the Maryland 1A East Section Final out in Snow Hill earlier tonight. Now, the Eagles looking for payback against the Saints, who ended their season. St. Michael's up 1-0 at this point. Jock Luthi lets a flare to center field. Good for an RBI single, bringing home Noah Swatoski. Fourth inning now. Christian Glesner slaps one to center, gets past the defender, rolls all the way to the wall. Josh Sherwood chugging all the way from first, and it's an RBI triple.
And then in the next inning, Sawatsky lays down the squeeze bunt.
Ooh.
He's safe at first. Ryan Smith, he's in to score. Fast forward to the seventh, the defending Bayside champs in Snow Hill. Down 6, Clayton Gaskell with the infield single. That plates Cole Gursky. But Nick Newman, a dominant force on the mound for the St. Mike's. The southpaw locks down the last few innings for the Saints as he strikes out 10 in his complete game outing. 6-1, Saints take it over Snow Hill.
Just trust my catcher, hit the glove, and trust the defense. We got the best defense there is, and it gives me a lot of trust to throw every pitch I can for a strike.
This is a young team, and they just keep getting a little bit better every day. They bought into the system that we have, and the guys that aren't playing all the time are picking guys up that are, and it's just it's a big team effort that we've had through the last, at least this week anyway.
So St. Michael's, do they have what it takes to get over the hump? I mean, obviously they didn't get it done last year. This year, do they look ready to win a state title?
Certainly seems so. I mean, they went out today and pretty dominant performance. You heard their pitcher there. I love what he said. You hit the glove, you hit your catcher. It's like, playing catch, and that's exactly what you have to do. They look pretty good. I mean, they look good every year, but the team that we saw today, I think definitely can make a run for that state title.
And for Snow Hill, they are the defending Bayside champs. It may be tough to repeat. Obviously, St. Michael's, Colonel, the powerhouses, but Decatur, Parkside, and Bennett, all three of them had great opening weeks, and for some of those highlights, we mentioned it. Drew Williams is standing by, and this is what we're going to use him for. Drew, what do we got?
I guess I'm good for something around here, right? Certainly my favorite time of the year with my favorite sport, baseball. We'll start off in Greenwood with Woodbridge hosting Milford. Raiders looking to knock off the Bucks at home. Derek Cannon with the strikeout to end the inning, but the left. Brock Hillegross would have the answer the other way. He gets the strikeout. The starter dealing on his mound as well. Now, Milford would enter the 6th inning leading 3-2, but the Blue Raiders would cross 2 runs, including this one by Troy Haynes after a single into right field drops. Woodbridge on top 4-3, but in the bottom half, Chad Reichelt would provide a spark. Knotted at 4-4 with 2 men in scoring position. Reichelt rips on into right, scoring both runs. And then, just for a little bit of added measure, wild pitch by Woodbridge. You'll see it here, allows Mason Morris to score. Milford moves to 2-0 to start the year with a 7-4 win. Moved to the Bayside earlier this week to a East Power. Ken Island hosting Parkside. Rams K. Johnson swipes the bag at third, which would lead to this. Brady Smith rips a ball into left field for an RBI single, knocking in Johnson to open up the scoring. Later, Tyree Downing with the bases loaded. Single up the left side. That's going to score 2 of his own, 2 of his 3 RBI on the day. Parkside puts up 5 runs in just the first 2 innings. And then the Rams getting good production on the mound. Seems to be the case for them this season. Sophomore Brady Bailey throwing a gem of a game. 5 innings, 6 strikeouts for the sophomore. Bucks getting runs on the board late, though. 2 on for Austin Horney, and he'll slap a ball into right field. Cuts the score 6-2. But that's really as close as it would get. Hunter Grable flies out to first base, and that'll do it. Parkside takes it on the road over Kent Island 6-2.
Last year we had a tough loss to them in the season,
And to come out here and beat them like this, it's really great. Oh yeah, this is a huge win for us confidence-wise. We have a lot of confidence now at the plate. Pitching, hopefully, we'll have a lot of confidence too, and fielding also.
We'll stick with some more Bayside action between Bennett and Stephen Decatur, and it was a pitcher duel early. Clippers' Aaron Combs looking strong. 10 strikeouts and just 2 hits surrendered in just under 6 innings for him. The Seahawks would eventually get to him, though, in the 4th. Ridge Watson, the RBI double to score Brett Burnquist. And then on the mound for the Seahawks, Hayden Snelser. 8 strikeouts on the night, but he gets himself into a bit of a jam. Gets the strikeout looking with 2 runners on to end the inning. Bennett, though, they would be able to tie things up. You'll see it here in just a second. Bottom of the 6th inning, Anders Brown. He's going to slap an RBI single to score Max Taylor, and we're knotted at 1, so let's head into extra innings. In extras, things would stay deadlocked at 1. In relief, Jack Rosenberg gets the strikeout to end the danger in the 9th, and then Bennett sang by it, gets one of his own. The game, well, it's called for darkness at 1-1. It'll pick back up at a date later to be determined, starting things in the top of the 10th inning. Let's get some softball action in. Colonel Richardson taking on Cambridge, and the Colonels up 1 early and tacking on another run behind an RBI groundout from the senior Jennifer Larimore. A few innings later, offense still clicking, but this time it's going to be Grace Buchanan. Almost to the same exact spot, and the Vikings trying to cut down the run at home, but Larimore is going to be able to get under the tag, and then he'll add another one. Colonel builds a 5-0 lead. So Cambridge trailing by 5, but able to load the bases in the 6th inning. Chloe Worrell puts a ball into left field, scoring Brooke Windsor, and CSD plates 3 into the inning. They'll trim the lead to just 2 runs. But Larimore, you check her out here, just way too strong on the mound. She was racking up the strikeout numbers. She keeps the bats quiet for the Vikings the rest of the way. Colonel wins this one over CSD 5-3. And over to Mardela Springs with Mardela hosting Snow Hill. Warriors starter Grace Barnes is feeling it early. Strikeout looking to open the games, and then Barnes again going with the rise ball, gets the swing and the miss. The Eagles relying on their starter as well in the circle. Haley Farlow throws some heat. She's going to get the batter swinging in the 2nd checkout. That late movement on that ball, that was a beautiful pitch. But things would start to unravel in the 3rd off some Eagles miscues. Wild pitch goes all the way to the backstop, bringing in Alexa Jones to score. And then later in the inning, pass ball is going to get past, and Sam Lamb's going to score. Heads home, Mardela. First 3 runs of the game, they would come off Snow Hill miscues. But the Warriors able to pick up the win 11-1 in 6 innings. Jeff, Jonah, we'll send it back to you guys for some more baseball scores around Delmarva.
All right, some more scores from both Maryland and Delaware in the Bayside. Colonel Richardson, 17-0 over Crisfield. And Pocomoke, they got a run this time, but losing to Cambridge 18-1.
All right, then in the Henlopen, Delaware. Here we go. Delmar, they actually trailed in this game 4-0. They top Polytech 8-4. They moved to 3-0. And then Cape Henlopen, good stat here, only giving up 2 runs through their first 3 games of the season. They topped Lake 1-0. They are now 2-1 overall.
So week 1 of baseball and softball is in the books. Fellas, what do we like? What didn't we like?
Oh, I liked a lot of the stuff that we just saw. Mardela's looking really good on the mound. We had St. Michael's looking very good on the mound. Parkside looks like they're going to have a bounce back year as well. Colonel Richardson softball and CSD. That was a really big matchup. We may see that later on this season as well. So there was a lot of good stuff, Jonah.
And we can't forget about Nathan Harper from Mardela. He threw a no-hitter earlier this week against Pocomoke. But we got to like what we saw out of the Salisbury City teams, as we mentioned. Parkside, Bennett, even Stephen Decatur out in Berlin looked strong in their opening week games, especially the Rams. Take the long road trip up to Kent Island. They get the win. Kent Island last year, they finished runners-up in the region.
Over 15 wins.
Exactly, and they return a lot of key pieces. So for Parkside to get that win, a huge stepping stone for them, not only in their quest for a Bayside championship, but the 2A playoffs as well.
So pretty much we're going to have a lot of baseball and softball as DSI continues throughout the rest of the month and then into April. But we're going to transition over to the turf. When DSI returns, we take you out to the lacrosse fields, both girls and boys, Delaware and Maryland, in action this week. Highlights are coming up after the break.
I'm Brian Femi, head coach, St. Michael's High School. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.